Hey, Cathryn Lavery here, and today I want to talk about how to hire and retain rockstar people at your company. So over the past 5 years, Best Self Co. has gone from just a small idea to a full team of people from all over the world working together. Between contractors, part-time, full-time, we have around 16 people who play some sort of role in the team between customer support, marketing, development, design. That makes it seem way easier than it was. So in this video, I want to cover 1, how not to hire someone, 2, how to define a job role, how to create an automated application process that only brings in qualified candidates, which is going to save you a ton of time, the system we use for hiring that finally worked, and the tools we use that make boring paperwork easy. Let me take you back to 2016. We hired our first key person. It was like a few months after we launched our store. Now, we were doing everything ourselves, me and my co-founder at the time. We were trying to fulfill our Kickstarter orders, or I think we just fulfilled them. And we were just trying to do everything, customer support, product, marketing. We were completely maxed out and we wanted to find people to lighten the load. If you're watching this video, you might be in this position also. You need help quickly. And so as a result, we were so reactive with our hiring and we didn't set ourselves up or the person we hired in order to be successful in their role. So we brought on 2 people and these 2 people didn't last very long. And it wasn't because they weren't good people, it's just that we did a really bad job with hiring and training them because we just threw them in the deep end and said, you know, we're drowning, we need your help. And we didn't really give them any sort of training.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great. Okay?
A big issue when you hire in this sort of mode is that you don't clearly define what you need. You basically try to give one person a lot of different roles and you don't really know who you're looking for. When you hire like this, you are going to get hurt later because again, you're just doing it too fast and you don't really know what you want. When you hire someone and don't take the time to train them properly, the wheels will start to come off and you might want to blame them. Oh, they're not very good. I should have hired the other guy. That's really not their problem. It's your fault for not picking the person and training them how to be successful in their role. So the only person whose problem that is yours. And every time you do this, you waste time and money and opportunity just having people fail out because you don't prepare them for their role. So I say this because I did this multiple times. I have a lot of experience with it. That and trying to hire my friends to do roles who are entrepreneurs. And so if they're entrepreneurs, why would they want to come work with you? That's not a long-term solution. So don't start trying to hire people in your network because are they likely to be the best person for the role? No. So a book that I highly recommend to anyone hiring anyone for any position is called Who? The Method for Hiring. So I'd highly recommend you read this. If you don't want to read it, you can grab my book notes from below this video, as well as a cheat sheet and the entire process of how we hire. And I'm going to also go through it in this video. So we have completely streamlined our hiring process. Actually, we have one now. We didn't before. And this is what it looks like. So what is it you were looking for? Who would be a perfect candidate? You really want to figure out what this person's going to be doing so that you can understand who it is that you might be looking for. So for example, if you're looking for an operations person, which was a huge sore point for us for a long time, you probably aren't looking for like a digital nomad person that's always traveling around because an operations person usually is around systems, they like their routines, and so you want to pick someone whose day-to-day life also is aligned with the role that they're going to have. Now, I might be generalizing, but in my experience, and especially with the operations role, I find that not having people go against their personality is great.
Okay, hey, come on out here. Let's settle this the old-fashioned way. Come on!
Just like you would want an introvert in a sales position, you want to make sure that you're fitting the right personality type with the job and the role that they're going to be doing. So 1 is define your role. And you can see in the cheat sheet that I'm providing below, like all these questions that you should know ahead of time when you're posting the position so that you're not, again, asking for something that is like a unicorn. Now, you don't need to get fancy with buying any memberships to any sites, just open a Google Doc. All you're doing is laying out what it is that you're looking for and who it is that you are. We created a template to make it faster so that for anyone that we hire, we're not having to redo the same thing all the time, because a lot of the stuff is going to remain the same, like about your company, why do people like working there, all of that stuff. Now, if you want the notes and the SOP, you can grab it at the link below where we share scripts and videos, the filters in your email to set up the automation so that you are simplifying the whole process. So in your job posting, you want to have like a fun opening, some way to get their attention. You want to have background on your company. You want to say what this new hire will do. You want to say what skills they need, software skills, language skills, whatever it is, who they need to be. So what characteristics are you looking for? What perks are you offering? And then details of what they need to do to apply. That's it. The goal of the application is to collect as many qualified people as possible. Like, you really want to set a goal of, I want, this many people to apply. And don't worry about having to go through a ton of people. There are ways to automate your process to quickly filter people out, especially the ones who can't follow basic instructions. So this is going to save you a ton of time weeding out people that are a bad fit. I'll show you how we do ours. So this is an example of how we have our instructions set up. We set up a canned response so that if you do what we ask for in the application, you get sent to one inbox, and if you don't, you basically get sent to the trash. So this is for people who apply and they get through to the next round. You want to basically take out everyone that can't follow basic instructions. So for example, if you say apply using this exact subject line and you say put a link to your portfolio in the email, you can set up a filter within Gmail that will automatically sort the applications as they come in and send people a response. If they follow the instructions, they will get put through the next round. And if they don't follow the instructions, they will be archived immediately. And this might sound harsh and mean that we're not giving people a chance, but with so many people applying, and if you, for example, are looking for someone that you need a high attention to detail and they can't follow the first instruction that you give them, it just doesn't set a good tone for the future. Except the one thing I will say is designers, sometimes I will look in that trash bin, because sometimes designers are very all over the place and they'll do something in the email that's a little different, and I can look past it for certain roles. But if you are looking for an operations position and you can't follow instructions, I'm probably not gonna give you a second chance. If you're a designer and you have a great portfolio, I might give you a second chance, because they're just different wheelhouses. So again, if you know the role you're looking for and what that person's going to be like, you can make adjustments as and when needed. Next, you want to create a questionnaire form. So you can either, use a service like Workable, which we've used, or you can again use a Google form or a Typeform or whatever it is that you want, but create some questions that you can send to people after they get over this initial hurdle. So you want to create a hurdle to basically get a link to fill out the questionnaire, because you don't want to be looking at a questionnaire full of answers of people that can't follow instructions. So the first step is having them send an email with the right information that you ask for. Then there's a canned response, sending them to a questionnaire specifically for that role. And then from there, you want to look at the answers to the questions and then decide, okay, does this person get an interview? Here's an example of a questionnaire that we sent out for a product designer position, and we ended up actually hiring 2 people from this, just from their answers. So, this is just an idea of different questions for different roles. Also, make sure that your automation is actually working before you post the job anywhere. So apply yourself and make sure that if you don't fill out the information, you get put in the trash. And if you do, that you get to the next step, because you don't want great applicants falling through the cracks. Like I said, you want to get as many qualified people as possible to check out your post. So you could do things like referral bonuses, you could post it, on job sites, whatever you have to do to get, again, as many people applying, because you want to find the best person. Other sources for generating great people is asking your friends if they know anyone, sending out an email to your email list. This has actually worked great for Best Self, and we've hired awesome people that already believe in the brand. So that is kind of our secret weapon, is hiring people that already know and like you. Now, since we have a pretty extensive personal network of people, I actually like to post on our personal Facebook pages and offer like a $500 reward if someone sends someone that we end up hiring, because it incentivizes them to send someone really great. And it also is a great way to have more people apply. So this is one of the posts that I've shared, and I've done this a ton of times, where I post a funny picture and a lot of people laugh and just get attention because of this picture. But we want as many people to see this post as possible. So we want to do something fun and interesting, and it's not just like a text post in Facebook. So every position now that we hire, I create a new stick figure drawing where people were like, oh, this is just the next edition. And it's funny because it started as just like, oh, I want to do something fun. And now every time we hire a new position, I will literally do a stick figure drawing for the job application. Now, once you have your applicants, you want to start reviewing the answers that they give you and score them on a scale of 1 to 5 based on what you thought. So at this point, once you kind of pick your top people, you want to set up quick 15-minute interviews with all of the top ones. And then, say you have 10 5s and 4 4s, you want to like pick who you want to interview first. Now, for positions like designers, I mentioned I weigh their portfolio above their answers. So for those, like if I know they can design, I'm really doing a culture check rather than a skills check. So again, figure out what it is that the position requires and then go from there. In the book that I mentioned before, there's a 4-part interview process, which is first, just 15 minutes. Can you have a conversation with this person? And often I have a couple of members of my team do this, and it's only when they get to the final interview that I'm actually on that call. So if you can create a system for your team to do basically 95% of the work between automation and your team, you're going to save a ton of time and also get great people. The point is to ensure that you vet and you find the right person, because a bad hire is going to cost you way more in the long run. Now, the 4 interviews, I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can get it in the PDF below, but there's the screening interview, the who interview, the focus interview, and then the reference interview, which is when you do reference checks. If you want to get the questions for all of these 4 interviews, again, get it in the PDF because it's kind of boring to say on video, but essentially these are the 4 parts to making sure that you hire effectively. Since we put this process into place, we have found some amazing people. Actually, the longest we've been in business, just over 5 years, and our longest team member has been with us for 4.5 years. And since we've hired people, we've had half of our team have actually come from our email list, known about our products, and we don't have to train them on what it is that we do. So that is also a secret weapon. And then the last part is just hiring someone. So we use Gusto for payroll and for paying contractors and all that boring tax stuff. We use Track 1099 for all the contractors' paperwork, and then we use Bill.com for invoicing. Those 3 tools basically cover 100% of what you need. Like I said, hiring great people will ensure your business growth and that you are not the bottleneck for your business. So I hope you found this useful, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it.